What if I told you that Wagner, Mozart, Verdi, and Puccini had something in common with mobile storage and warehousing and logistics industry? Today, we step out of the shops and yards of the storage market and into the world of creativity and classical entertainment. Today's guest manages an inventory that consists of 20-foot tall castle walls and delicate costumes, period furniture, and a complete theatrical set that have to be staged with zero room for error. Joining us today to discuss how a world-class arts organization navigates tight schedules, high-value assets, and massive facility transitions is Rodney Barge, the associate technical director at the Atlanta Opera. Rodney, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good afternoon, everyone.
So tell us a little bit about you, your background, and how you found yourself in this magical world of opera.
Well, it's a long story, but I'll do my best to cut it as short as possible. I actually went to school for technical theater. So I have my BFA in technical theater. I spent a great number of years in Las Vegas working for Cirque du Soleil on some of their very large scale productions. I spent a couple years in Macau, China on one of the shows over there. And just before the pandemic hit, I was down in Orlando, Florida, working on a Cirque du Soleil show that's partnered with Disney. So that was my full circle from one side of the country back to the other side of the globe, down to Florida, and now I'm in Atlanta.
Now you're in hot Atlanta, one of the greatest cities in the country. And you guys are hosting the World Cup here too, right?
That is correct. It's here.
Absolutely. Very cool. Busy time. So I know this is probably a tough question for you, for a professional who's done this for a long time. But if you had to choose, what's your favorite or most memorable performance in your career?
Ooh. Oh man, that is a hard one for sure. There have been a great number of productions that I've done in my very, very long career. Honestly, my favorite show, I would have to say, was my first show ever when I was in high school, running a follow spot, didn't know anything about anything, and we were doing The Wizard of Oz, believe it or not. And because it was a musical, the girl playing Dorothy she caught me. She had the most beautiful voice I'd ever heard, and I was the one holding the spotlight. So yeah, that was by far my favorite one. Still remember it.
Yeah, it is magical. I love the theater. I was the vice president of our thespian troupe in high school, believe it or not. So we did a lot of Rebel Without a Cause. We did Fall of the House of Usher. We did All American, a bunch of different musicals, Brigadoon. So
Nice.
yeah, I come from that background as well, and I love it. So storage issues. One would assume that managing technical production for the Atlanta Opera, I mean, it's a master class in heavy logistics, right? You
Huge.
have oversight of scenery and props and complex incoming show rentals. At what point did art collide with warehouse operations, leading you to reach out to Advantage Trailer Rentals in Atlanta?
Believe it or not, my warehouse facility is about a little over 45,000 square feet, and it's not enough. It's not enough. So all of this junk's got to go somewhere. It really just happened. Like, I think Troy's an amazing guy, and we hit it off really well. And one thing led to another, and it's like, I need a place to put this set. I need a place to put that set, and the two of us together just figured it out.
Yeah. So do you store those sets on in a drop lot, or do you have some place there near the opera house?
We have a warehouse here in Austell, Georgia. The
Okay.
opera house that we work out of is the Cobb Energy Center, which is way up north a little bit. But I have 45,000 square feet. I've got 8 docks. I've got one trailer that the opera owns, and then a few more with stuff sitting in them.
Yeah, so that's fascinating. I mean, we talk to a lot of companies that are, they're manufacturers or they're doing retail. I love it that you guys are using trailers to store sets. So
Yeah.
so between coordinating crews and managing budgets and overseeing layout and planning and all that. What does a normal day look like for you when you've got a massive main stage production that's getting ready to load out?
It's a give and take, man. It is the worst game of Tetris you can ever imagine when you think about it. Like just figuring out how big this show is and what it's going to actually take to move it. Just the sheer size of the biggest piece. Now, how can we get it in? How can we get it out? How many people is it going to take to move it? What are we going to need? Do I need another tank of propane for the forklift? It is a really very challenging game of give and take. It all really starts with the size of the set and how much time we have to get it from point A to point B.
Yeah, so let's talk about timing. When a show comes in, how long do they run? Do they normally run?
We usually do 4 shows. So we have an opening night, we have 2 evening performances, and then we have a Sunday matinee, and then that's it. Game over.
So just over a weekend or something like that, and then you're tearing down.
Yes, sir.
Wow. So that's very transient, right? So the sets arrive live on stage for just a few days, and then they got to be struck and stored immediately. Tell us about that. How do you manage the relationship between space and time?
Well, opening night is a fixed point, whether we are ready for the show to open or not. Opening night is a fixed point. Loadout is a fixed point, whether we're ready to tear down or not. That is a fixed point. So for me, the planning part starts backwards. I start with opening night and I work my way back. When does opening night happen? And then a week before that is usually load in. So we have a week of getting ready to go for opening night. And before load in, we have prep week. So that whole week is getting ready to go to load in to get ready to open the show. And that week in itself, that's how I break down where it all starts. If I've got, 17 massive walls that have to go up, I have to figure out how many carpenters do I need? What's the lighting package look like? What's the props package look like? If it has a video wall, what's the video package look like? And I've gotten pretty good at overestimating on paper how many trucks I actually need. So I usually always end up with one more than I actually needed, and it's gotten me out of trouble more than a few times. So yeah, if I think it's going to take us 7 trucks to get in there, I'm going to book 8.
Yeah, so you're telling Troy, hey, just give me one extra. Just
give me one extra. Just give me one extra for another week.
Yeah, you mentioned forklifts. So opera scenery is notoriously bulky, and some of it is completely non-collapsible. So before you reach out to the team at Advantage, what was the specific breaking point in your permanent warehouse or your shop where you looked at the incoming scenic flats and realized your fixed footprint we can no longer sustain this volume?
Yeah, it's another game of give and take, because even the best trailers in the world will not survive the humidity of Georgia. So we have to really think about what we store and how we're storing it. A great number of our sets are just steel and wood construction. So a lot of that is okay as long as we're not too terribly worried about the paint. Paint doesn't really hold up too well in Georgia humidity either. Neither do costumes. But we can get away with some stuff going in trailers. In my warehouse proper, I'd say we have 16 or 17 full bays of just sets, one set after another. And however they break down, they still got to get in and they still got to get out. So a lot of that plays into how much truck space we need. Just how much bay space does it take up? You only got 53 foot of truck space, so you got to make it fit somewhere.
That's it. Yeah, 450 square foot in that 53 foot storage trailer. So the Atlanta Opera, you guys have been celebrated for your courage and your innovation. I heard a story that you guys were famous for continuing to operate during the pandemic under a big tent series. I also heard that you guys are launching your own film studio. Is that right?
That is correct.
I mean, that is a huge deal. So without the flexibility of mobile storage offered by Warehouse on Wheels and Advantage, you guys may have had to say no to some of those big, ambitious ideas. Would you say there might have been a huge financial opportunity cost for the opera if you didn't have a partner like Troy and Tanner?
Again, it's a give and take. It is a give and take. We store a lot in this facility, but we have to keep our eyes on the prize. I mean, we are led by a very, very great man, Tomer Zulin. I hope I said his name right. I will never hear the end of it if I mispronounce his name, but he is a visionary. He's got a great mind and an eye for detail. So he does a very good job of keeping us all on track. We may have to turn down an opportunity here or there, but there's a bigger picture. There's always a bigger goal.
Yeah, so a lot of leaders still see storage trailers as a temporary fix for a messy warehouse or a messy yard. In show business, opening night is, like you said, this immovable deadline, right? It's fixed. Can you walk us through a high-pressure week where the ability to quickly scale your storage capacity up or down with a few phone calls to Troy and those guys completely saved, a technical rehearsal or production timeline?
I got a great one for you. This actually happened about a month ago because we're constantly moving. We're always in production, but we also rent some of our sets to other opera companies around the country out of this warehouse too. Like we co-own a couple of our sets. We own a couple of sets. We rent out a few sets. But when we're in production, we're in production. Like we're doing the thing. But we got a call from somebody saying that I can't remember which company it was, but hey, we want the set. We want it now. We're gonna bring you another set. It was like, okay, cool. Now we've got to empty out an entire 2 bays of storage so that we can take a show, and we're already doing a show. So that was a very quick call to Troy. It's like, hey, I need 2 trailers and I need them tomorrow. What can you do? So Troy got me 2 trailers, drop of a hat. It probably cost a little more than I would have liked to have paid for it, but they were available and he brought them to me. All I had to do was book a crew and clear out those bays. So yeah, it was, Troy really came through in a pinch. It was very, very cool to be able to just pick up the phone. Like, hey, I need 2 trailers tomorrow. Can you do it? And bring them to me. Bill me. Send me an invoice. I'll take care of it later. And just do the work. I'll pay the bill.
Troy loves those hair on fire moments, and we joke around that he and I don't have to worry about that. And neither do you, Rodney. Neither do you. So, you mentioned humidity, and the whole Warehouse on Wheels team prides itself on providing. I mean, it's a quote around here: clean, dark, dry, and safe storage options. Right? Mm-hmm. How has the weatherproofing and security of the mobile units that you get from us changed your personal stress level during unpredictable storms or, like you said, high humidity seasons?
It's better than it used to be. I tell you that. Like the trailer that we own here on property, I've had to seal more than once. So I mean, it is what it is. It's an old trailer. It's been around since probably before me. It's expected. Cracks, leaks, things are going to happen. It's fine. But like I said, it is definitely a give and take of knowing what you can and can't get away with storing in a trailer for those just in case moments.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, there are certain things that just doesn't go. So you guys recently broke ground on a big Molly Blanc Center for Opera and the Arts. Is that right? Like Beltline Loop area? Okay,
correct.
Good. So you're going to be integrating rehearsal halls and costume shops. And from what I read, it's like a 56,000 square foot campus.
Yep.
How are you envisioning using mobile storage as a strategic pressure valve while you transition operations into this permanent new home over the next year?
I have no idea how this is all going to work. This is new territory for a lot of us. I mean, I've never opened a building before. I don't know too many people that can say that they have, but having Troy and Tanner and the guys readily available, it's going to make all the difference when we need something quick. So yeah, man, it's when we have to move out of one place and into another, I can't even begin to imagine what that looks like to move an entire office building, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Yeah. Just keep Troy on speed dial.
I already got him on speed dial. That's my
all right.
guy.
So what I'm hoping is that a lot of folks like you
Mhm.
are watching this. If an associate technical director or production manager at another major regional theater in Dallas or even Las Vegas,
Mhm.
New York, if they're currently just making it work, so to speak, with choked backstage and packed warehouses, what's the first thing you'd tell them to audit in their yards
I
when
would
watching
say
this?
evaluate your parking lot. Like, how many trailers can you actually get in that lot? Find yourself a reliable driver who's really good, who can make those tight turns, and get him a day cab, because nobody wants to move a trailer back there with a sleeper cab. Get yourself a good driver with a day cab, evaluate your space, and if you can, try to keep at least one dock open for deliveries.
Yes. Yeah, you can't load all those up. So
Mm-mm.
why do you think so many companies in the entertainment event space, and we have a location in Vegas, and I know that the entertainment industry out there rents a lot of trailers from us.
Yeah.
Why,
Yes, they
why do
do.
you think they wait until a set is actively blocking an exit or a dock, and maybe the fire marshal comes in before they move ahead with a mobile storage option?
Well, the sad reality of entertainment is we try really hard not to throw anything away, because you never know when you're going to need that thing that was on that show and that set that got put together. And maybe it's over there, maybe it's, way over there. So speaking for myself, especially, like, I need to be able to see everything. I need to be able to see where everything is before I can decide where it's going to go. So that's part of the reason for the clutter. Like, my office is messy now, but I know exactly where everything is. When it comes to an entire set, that's different, because there are so many pieces and parts that get reused, recycled, stock stage flats, stock stair units, you know, maybe there's a chair that's a piece of furniture that gets used in this show and that show and that show. Trying to figure out where it actually goes, always the hard part. And it gets even harder if you put it in a trailer.
Hmm.
That's my opinion. That's a big part of it. It's a huge part of it in my world, because when I put a set in a trailer, I got to get as much of it in there as I can, and it doesn't always all fit.
Yeah, you almost have to have an inventory or maybe like a QR code scanner
Yeah.
that pulls up exactly what's in there and all
Oh
of
yeah.
that. When we took the tour of Warner Brothers and went through the prop room, I mean, you're right, they hang on to everything. There's
Hmm.
stuff in there from movies and films that happened in the 20s that are still in that
Correct.
prop room right now at Warner Brothers. It's crazy. What would you say is the biggest, most outdated myth about mobile storage trailers that you hope the commercial world or entertainment world can completely retire after they hear from you on this episode?
It all fits, and that's a myth. It does not always fit. And contrary to popular belief, one thing that I want to make sure that people are paying attention to: the smallest size difference between a roll up door and a swing door is very, very small, but it matters. It matters when you're trying to get an 8 foot wide piece through a door and you only got inches, barely inches to spare. Like, those minute amounts of differences matter when you're talking about a very, very large piece.
You know our world so well. This is amazing. I love it. Rodney Barge, Associate Technical Director at the Atlanta Opera, thank you for showing us the wow factor in entertainment.
Thanks again for having me. Appreciate it.
All right, folks, it's time for the curtain to fall on this episode. That's it for this week. I'm Dr. Mark Mann, and we'll see you on the next episode of The Wow Factor.